What's up, everybody? As you know, yesterday we got the new season of Warzone Pacific and Vanguard, and as with every new season, we get two Battle Pass weapons, one at Tier 15, one at Tier 31. And today we're talking about the weapon at Tier 15, and that is the new Marco 5 SMG. It's been pretty rare that I've called a weapon meta or within the meta on drop. I think during Vanguard, I think the only one during Vanguard of any of the seasonal weapons or mid-season weapons was the Blixen. I think was the only one, but that trend continues into today. The Marco 5 is definitely within the meta. I don't know if it's better than the Blixen, but it's a little bit better than the Armawera, and really the Blixen and the Armo were the two things that people were running, mostly the Blixen, and so it's in the argument for second best SMG. The Type 63 is definitely in that argument as well, but the Marco 5 absolutely fits in with the meta. I'm going to go ahead and show the loadouts here quickly, and first, just for the people that just want that and then want to go away, I do appreciate anybody that watches, so those people are appreciated just as much as someone that watches all the way, and then after that, I'll go ahead and show you the stats on sim.gg. So let's go ahead and jump into the loadout for the people that can't wait for that. Okay, and there is two ways that people are going to run this. I personally prefer this build. This is the single gun build. The other way is, as you probably know by now, this gun comes with akimbo, so then there's the akimbo build. The akimbo build is definitely going to be really good for pushing up close quarters, really good time to kill. Akimbo, but obviously the problem with akimbo is you can't really shoot anybody outside of 5, maybe 10 meters effectively. So that's why I prefer shorter, the single gun. It's got like no recoil at all, so you can beam people from far away, and far away for an SMG, and you can kill people up close because it's got a competitive time to kill. Obviously the akimbo is only for up close. So for the single gun, and this I think would be a decent sniper support because of its lack of recoil booster, like always on SMGs. Hand stop, there is a debate for the Strife Angle. The Strife Angle is the best for horizontal recoil control now, but the hand stop does do vertical, doesn't hurt your ADS speed, and so I do like the hand stop for that reason, as well as it doesn't have any penalties that we're worried about, because if you're worried about hip fire, then you're probably worried about the akimbo build where you can't do an underbarrel. The Strife Angle does hurt your ADS speed, and since there's a whole lot of recoil, I'll take the little bit of recoil help horizontal in comparison without the ADS penalty. And then the mags are kind of up to you. I find the 9mm 48 round drum mag the best. The main difference being where the damage range drops off. The furthest being the 8mm 36 round mag, but 36 is a problem, plus it gives you more recoil control and less hip fire accuracy. And then the 64 round drum, which is a good option for quads, gives you the most amount of ammo. You have less bullet velocity, less bullet penetration, so if somebody's farther away, somebody has more cover, it's going to be harder to kill. Whereas 48 rounds is still a decent amount of rounds. You lose a little bit of reload quickness. But you also don't get a movement speed penalty like you do on the 64 round drum. So for trios, quads, 64 is okay. I still prefer the 48 because you don't need all 48 to kill 2 or 3 people. 48 can knock pretty much the whole team. And then the 36 round mag for solos because the recoil is not too bad and you can control that. But I'm just going to stick with the 48 round drums. And then either go lengthened or subsonic. You could go hollow point, but you do lose damage range, and the damage range isn't amazing on this. So we'll go lengthened, or if you want to stay off the minimap, go subsonic. I prefer the bullet velocity of lengthened. Tape grip is looking like the new meta for SMGs, especially ones without recoil. You get movement speed and sprint to fire speed, even though that doesn't matter. We'll go over that in a second. But you get a really high movement speed bonus using tape. Don't know if it's a bug. Don't know if that's on purpose. You can still go with fabric grip. It helps your ADS speed, sprint to fire, which doesn't matter as much, and hip fire recoil recovery, but the movement speed is so good with the tape grip right now that it's definitely the way to go. Then we have the Perfetto Esada stock, recoil control, aiming stability, aim down sight speed. If you go with the Amaretto FR, you lose recoil control during sustained fire, which we don't want, and the HF folding, same thing. So I'd end up defaulting to the Esada. Gung Ho, instant sprint to fire speed. You could go momentum, you could go frenzy, but take the instant sprint to fire speed. and then quick like all SMGs. The one that I didn't go over was the barrel, because the barrel kind of depends. We'll build it for hipfire in a second, but the hipfire barrel is the 285 custom. The 342 I end up going with. It hurts your ADS speed. Sprint to fire speed doesn't matter because we have gung ho, but it gets rid of the rest of any recoil that stuff. Gives you bullet velocity, gives you flinch resistance, and reduces the scope sway. The 240 is an interesting option that I haven't really played with too much because it helps fire rate, but it hurts recoil control, hurts bullet velocity and range, and those are things we don't want. The Perfetto Lesto hurts bullet velocity and recoil control. It could still be good because ADS speed, movement speed. So if you're looking for a movement speed build and aim walking speed, that's the way to go. And then the body we'll get to in a second because it's the hipfire barrel. And then nobody wants to go to a burst conversion if they don't have to. Plus it hurts your movement speed. And so you go to the 342 or the Lesto. I got to play around with the Lesto more, but I like the recoil control. Because it's an SMG, I'm not too worried about ADS speed, which the Lesto does help. And sprint to fire doesn't matter if we're using gung ho, but you're going to want to use one of these two barrels. And then if you want to make this into a hipfire build with the akimbo, you switch to the custom stock. You go akimbo, and then you go hollow point because your damage range is already chalked. You go with the folding stock because the folding stock gives you that hipfire accuracy plus the sprint to fire speed, which doesn't really matter, but is the hipfire one. And then just choose one of the optics that increases accuracy. The 4 to 8 also gives you better recoil control, even though that's not as important. And then the pine tar grip is what you rock for the hipfire accuracy. And those are the two ways to build it. I prefer the single gun, so I'll leave that on screen for you. With the singular gun, just as a reminder, this is the build, and this is my preferred way of running the new Marco 5. And that's the Marco 5 builds to run. If that's all you needed from this video, I appreciate you watching, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the statistics right now. Okay, and now we're over on sim.gg. You can see the blue is the hipfire build. The hipfire build is broken, fast to kill, 516 milliseconds with the 300 HP is huge. It is so fast, and if you're within 5 meters, I don't know if this one was with hollow point. If you're within 5 meters, it's 430 milliseconds. Broken, no time to react. Yeah, that's with the hollow point. If you go subsonic, gotta zoom that back in. If you go subsonic on it, it's like the exact same time to kill. I just don't. Hollow point's probably not worth it. Get the extra meter of drop off. And then we're going to go ahead and ignore that. And we're going to look at the other 3 weapons on this list. Being the orange is Marco 5, green is H4 Blixen, and purple is Armawera. So you can already see that if you're just hitting chest shots, the Armawera is the worst of the 3. If you go headshots, it becomes the best of the 3, but that's only with headshots. And even then, there's some ranges where it's not really the best, or it's not the best by a lot. But that's if you're hitting 100% headshots. If you look at neck shots, same thing. It ends up being better, but that's if you're hitting all chest and neck shots, which isn't always easy. And so we're really going to look at upper chest, where the Armawera becomes the worst. We're looking at stomach, where once again the Armawera is no better than the Marco, and the Blixen comes out on top. So you're really looking at the H4 and the Blixen here. Here's within 28 meters after they both already dropped off. And we're pretty damn close here. Even when there's a gap like in the Blixen, it's not a huge gap. It's only a couple meters, and then the Blixen ends up being better to infinity. But they're just about the same up close. So the Marco really does fit into the meta. It's probably going to be my main SMG just to be a little bit different than the Blixen, but you absolutely can beat the Blixen, especially 10 meters. You can absolutely beat the Blixen. And then between 12 and 15 meters, it beats the Blixen by a pretty decent amount. So I definitely think the Marco is the meta. It's going to either be Marco or Blixen. So definitely you want to level this gun up as quick as possible. You want to start running this gun, especially if you're looking to mix it up from the Blixen. With that all being said, that's all I got for you on the Marco. I appreciate you watching, whether you watched all the way through, clicked around. Always appreciate any watch time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. It should be tomorrow that I'm going to have a video on the UGM 8, the new LMG, so hit that notification bell so you know right when that comes out. And then like next week, like I always try to do within a week and a half of the new seasons, I like to drop my loadout video. I plan on updating long range as well as short range meta. Maybe not sniper support just because a lot of the sniper support guns didn't get touched, but we'll have to see. But hit a notification bell so you know whether I upload that or not. And then let me know down below what you think of the Marco 5. Are you just going to stick with the Blixen? Are you going to level up the Marco 5 because the Blixen has an unlock challenge you don't feel like doing? Let me know down below. And I'll link some GG down in the description below, as well as all my social medias like usual. Planning on starting streaming again probably sometime next month. Probably middle of the month, towards the end of the month, somewhere around there. So definitely follow my Twitch down below. I post almost daily on TikTok and Instagram, and those are down below as well. And if you want a little less gaming, more personal side, Twitter's down below. But thank you again for watching. I will see you on Caldera, Fortune's Keep, and Rebirth Island when it comes back next week. Have a great day. Get frying. Bye.